Elephants are incredibly emotional and intelligent beings. They mourn their dead, sometimes returning to the bones of deceased family members and gently touching them with their trunks. Baby elephants will suck their trunks for comfort, much like human babies suck their thumbs. These gentle giants can recognize themselves in mirrors, showing a level of self-awareness that's quite rare in the animal kingdom. They also have excellent memories and can remember other elephants and places for decades. Butterflies taste with their feet, which helps them find the perfect plant to lay their eggs on. When a butterfly lands on a leaf, it's actually sampling it to see if it's suitable for their caterpillar babies. The transformation from caterpillar to butterfly is one of nature's most magical processes. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar essentially dissolves into a soup of cells before reorganizing into a butterfly. Some butterflies, like the painted lady, migrate thousands of miles, rivaling even some bird migrations. Penguins are devoted partners and parents. Emperor penguins, living in the harsh Antarctic, take turns caring for their single egg. The male balances the egg on his feet, covered by a warm fold of skin, for about 2 months without eating while the female goes to feed at sea. When she returns, they recognize each other through unique calls among thousands of other penguins. Gentoo penguins propose to their mates by offering them a pebble, and if accepted, they use it to build their nest together. Cows have best friends and become stressed when separated from them. They're social creatures with complex emotional lives, and studies show they're happier when they're with their preferred companions. Cows also have regional accents in their moods, varying by herd and location. They're curious animals who enjoy investigating new things in their environment, and they can hold grudges against other cows who have wronged them. Octopuses are incredibly intelligent invertebrates with 3 hearts and blue blood. 2 hearts pump blood to the gills, while the third pumps it to the rest of the body. They can change color and texture in milliseconds, not just for camouflage, but also to communicate emotions. When an octopus is startled, it might turn white, while an angry octopus might flush red. They're also escape artists, able to squeeze through any opening larger than their hard beak, which is their only rigid body part. Bees communicate through dance. When a forager bee finds a good source of nectar, she returns to the hive and performs a waggle dance that tells her sisters the direction and distance to the flowers. The angle of the dance relative to the sun indicates direction, while the duration tells them how far to fly. A single bee colony works together like a superorganism, with each bee having specific roles that change as they age. Bees also recognize human faces and can remember them for days. Sloths only defecate once a week, and they climb down from their trees to do it, which is actually quite dangerous for them. Scientists believe they do this to fertilize the trees they depend on. Sloths move so slowly that algae grows in their fur, giving them a greenish tint that helps them blend into the canopy. Despite their reputation for laziness, their slow movement is actually an energy-saving adaptation that allows them to survive on a low-calorie diet of leaves. Wolves mate for life and are devoted family members. The entire pack helps raise the pups, bringing them food and babysitting while the parents hunt. Wolf packs are actually family units, typically consisting of a breeding pair and their offspring from several years. They howl not just to communicate location, but also to strengthen social bonds, and each wolf has a distinctive howl that others can recognize. Hummingbirds have incredible metabolisms and must eat constantly to survive. They can visit up to 2,000 flowers per day and beat their wings up to 80 times per second. Their hearts beat over 1,000 times per minute during flight. Despite their tiny size, some species migrate thousands of miles, crossing the Gulf of Mexico in a single non-stop flight. Before migration, they nearly double their body weight in fat reserves. Horses can sleep standing caches to throw off potential thieves. Squirrels also adopt orphan babies from their relatives, showing surprising compassion. Giraffes have the same number of neck vertebrae as humans, just 7, but each one is much longer. Their tongues are about 20 inches long and are dark colored, possibly to protect against sunburn as they spend hours reaching for leaves. Giraffes only need to drink water every few days, getting most of their moisture from the plants they eat. When they do drink, they have to awkwardly spread their front legs or kneel to reach the water, making them vulnerable to predators. Cats spend about 70% of their lives sleeping, which amounts to around 16 hours a day. When they're awake, they spend a significant portion of their time grooming themselves. A cat's purr isn't just a sign of contentment. They also purr when stressed or injured, and the vibrations may actually promote healing. Cats can rotate their ears independently 180 degrees and have over 20 muscles controlling each ear, allowing them to pinpoint sounds with remarkable accuracy. Dogs' sense of smell is at least 10,000 times more sensitive than humans. They have about 300 million olfactory receptors compared to our 6 million. This is why they can detect diseases, drugs, and even emotions in people. When a dog tilts its head while you're talking, it's not just cute. They're actually trying to better locate the source of the sound and understand your tone. Dogs dream just like humans do, and you can often see their legs twitching as they run in their sleep. Polar bears aren't actually white. Their fur is transparent and hollow, reflecting light to appear white, while their skin underneath is black to absorb heat. These magnificent creatures are excellent swimmers and have been spotted swimming hundreds of miles from shore. A polar bear's liver contains so much vitamin A that it's toxic to humans. Despite their massive size, with males weighing up to 1,500 pounds, they can run up to 25 miles per hour. Owls can rotate their heads up to 270 degrees because they have 14 neck vertebrae, double what humans have. They can't move their eyes in their sockets, which is why they need such flexible necks. Owls are nearly silent flyers thanks to special feather adaptations that muffle sound, allowing them to sneak up on prey. A group of owls is called a parliament, and different species have distinct calls, from hoots to screeches to whistles. Koalas sleep up to 22 hours a day because eucalyptus leaves, their primary food source, are so low in nutrition and energy. They have specially adapted digestive system with extremely long intestines to break down the toxic compounds in eucalyptus leaves that would be poisonous to most other animals. Each koala has unique fingerprints, remarkably similar to human fingerprints, even under a microscope. Baby koalas, called joeys, stay in their mother's pouch for about 6 months. Chimpanzees share about 98% of their DNA with humans and are our closest living relatives. They use tools, have complex social structures, and can learn sign language to communicate with humans. Chimps show empathy, comfort each other when distressed, and even have been observed holding funerals for deceased group members. They laugh when tickled and can recognize themselves in mirrors, demonstrating self-awareness. Seahorses are unique in that the males carry and birth the babies. The female deposits her eggs into the male's pouch, where he fertilizes and carries them until they're ready to be born. A male seahorse can give birth to up to 1,000 babies at once. Seahorses mate for life and greet each other every morning with an elaborate dance, changing colors and swimming side by side with their tails linked. Parrots can live for over 80 years in captivity, making them lifelong companions. They're incredibly intelligent, capable of learning hundreds of words and using them in context. Some species can solve complex puzzles and have been shown to have the reasoning ability of a 4-year-old child. Parrots are also extremely social and in the wild live in large flocks. They bond strongly with their mates and can become depressed if separated. Crocodiles have been around for over 200 million years, making them living fossils that coexisted with dinosaurs. Despite their fierce reputation, mother crocodiles are surprisingly gentle with their babies, carrying them carefully in their mouths to the water. They can't chew, so they tear off chunks of meat and swallow them whole. Crocodiles can hold their breath underwater for over an hour and can go months without eating. Rabbits are crepuscular, meaning they're most active during dawn and dusk. They have nearly 360-degree vision, but have a blind spot right in front of their nose. A rabbit's teeth never stop growing, which is why they need to constantly gnaw on things to keep them at a healthy length. When rabbits are happy, they perform a move called a binky, jumping in the air and twisting their body, which is absolutely delightful to watch. Kangaroos can't walk backward, which is why they're on the Australian coat of arms, symbolizing forward progress. Female kangaroos can pause their pregnancies, a phenomenon called embryonic diapause, which allows them to delay birth until conditions are favorable. Baby kangaroos, called joeys, are only about an inch long at birth and crawl into their mother's pouch to continue developing. Kangaroos can jump up to 30 feet in a single bound. Turtles have been on Earth for over 200 million years. Their shells are part of their skeleton, made up of about 60 bones covered by plates called scutes. Some turtles can breathe through their butts, a process called cloacal respiration, which allows them to stay underwater for months during hibernation. Sea turtles return to the exact beach where they were born to lay their own eggs, navigating thousands of miles using Earth's magnetic field. Flamingos aren't born pink. They're actually gray or white, and their pink color comes from the carotenoid pigments in the algae and crustaceans they eat. Flamingos can only eat with their heads upside down, using their specially adapted beaks to filter food from the water. They often stand on one leg to conserve body heat, tucking the other leg up into their warm feathers. Flamingo couples perform synchronized dances before mating. Bats are the only mammals capable of true sustained flight. They use echolocation to navigate in complete darkness, emitting high-frequency sounds and listening to the echoes to build a mental map of their surroundings. A single bat can eat thousands of insects in one night, making them excellent natural pest controllers. Vampire bats, despite their scary reputation, rarely bite humans and will share food with hungry roost mates by regurgitating blood for them. Dolphins have names for each other, using unique whistles to call specific individuals. They're incredibly playful and have been observed surfing waves, playing with seaweed, and creating bubble rings for entertainment. Dolphins help injured pod members to the surface to breathe, and will stay with sick companions. They're also one of the few species that engage in activities purely for fun, showing a sense of joy and curiosity about their world. Lions are the only truly social cats, living in groups called prides. Female lions do most of the hunting while males protect the pride's territory. Lions can sleep up to 20 hours a day, conserving energy for hunts. A lion's roar can be heard from up to 5 miles away and is used to communicate with pride members and warn off intruders. Cubs are raised communally, with all the females in a pride nursing each other's young. Ants are incredibly strong for their size, able to carry objects 50 times their own body weight. Some ant species farm fungi, growing it in underground gardens and harvesting it for food. Leafcutter ants can strip an entire tree of its leaves overnight, carrying the pieces back to their colony. Ants never sleep and work tirelessly throughout their lives. Some species engage in warfare, raiding other colonies and taking prisoners as slaves. Peacocks' elaborate tail feathers are actually their upper tail coverts, not their actual tail. Males display these stunning feathers in a fan to attract females, who choose mates based on the size, color, and number of eye spots on the display. The vibrant colors aren't from pigments. reflect light. Peacocks can have up to 200 eye spots on their trained feathers. Whales sing complex songs that can last up to 30 minutes and be heard across entire ocean basins. Humpback whales' songs evolve over time, with all males in a population gradually changing their song together. Blue whales are the largest animals to have ever lived on Earth, even bigger than the largest dinosaurs, with hearts the size of a small car. Some whale species live over 200 years, making them among the longest-lived mammals. Meerkats take turns standing guard while others forage, scanning for predators and alerting the group to danger. They live in large family groups called mobs or gangs, with a dominant breeding pair and many helpers who assist in raising pups. Meerkats teach their young how to handle prey, starting with dead scorpions and gradually introducing live ones as the pups become more skilled. They're immune to certain snake and scorpion venoms that would kill other animals. Hedgehogs have about 5,000 to 7,000 spines covering their backs, each lasting about a year before falling out and being replaced. When threatened, they roll into a tight ball with only their spines exposed. Hedgehogs are lactose intolerant despite the popular image of them drinking milk. They make a variety of sounds including grunts, snuffles, and even purrs when content. Baby hedgehogs are born with soft spines that harden within hours. Chameleons change color not just for camouflage, but also to regulate temperature and communicate emotions. They have eyes that can move independently, allowing them to look in two different directions simultaneously. Their tongues can be twice as long as their body and can shoot out to catch prey in a fraction of a second. Chameleons have a 360-degree arc of vision, making it nearly impossible to sneak up on them. Gorillas are generally gentle giants, despite their intimidating size and strength. They live in family groups led by a silverback male, named for the distinctive silver hair on his back that develops with maturity. Gorillas are primarily vegetarian, spending most of their day eating leaves, shoots, and stems. They build new nests every night to sleep in, carefully arranging branches and leaves. Gorillas can learn sign language and have shown the ability to communicate abstract concepts and emotions. Frogs absorb water through their skin rather than drinking it with their mouths. Some species can freeze solid during winter and thaw out in spring, completely unharmed. The poison dart frog gets its toxicity from the insects it eats. Captive-bred frogs fed different diets are poisonous. Some frogs can jump over 20 times their body length in a single leap. The Goliath frog, the world's largest, can grow over a foot long and weigh more than 7 pounds. Pigeons can find their way home from over 1,000 miles away using a combination of magnetic field detection, sun position, landmarks, and even smell. They've been used throughout history to carry messages because of this remarkable ability. Pigeons can recognize all 26 letters of the alphabet and can differentiate between photographs of different people. They mate for life, and both parents take turns incubating eggs and feeding their young with crop milk. Snakes smell with their tongues, flicking them out to collect scent particles, and then pressing them against a special organ in the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson's organ. They can't hear sounds traveling through air, but can feel vibrations through the ground. Some snakes can go over a year without eating, slowing their metabolism to conserve energy. When snakes shed their skin, they even shed the scales covering their eyes, which is why their eyes appear cloudy before a shed. Raccoons are incredibly dexterous, with paws almost as sensitive as human hands. They have a highly developed sense of touch, and their paws become even more sensitive when wet, which is why they appear to be washing their food. Raccoons are excellent problem solvers and can remember solutions to tasks for up to 3 years. They're also surprisingly good climbers and swimmers. In the wild, raccoons rarely live beyond 3 years, but in captivity, they can live up to 20. building dams that create wetland habitats beneficial to numerous other species. Their teeth never stop growing, and the orange color comes from iron in the enamel that makes them stronger. Beavers can hold their breath underwater for 15 minutes and have transparent eyelids that function like goggles. They use their flat tails to slap the water as an alarm signal when danger approaches. A beaver lodge has an underwater entrance for safety from predators. Swans mate for life and are symbols of love and fidelity in many cultures. They're among the heaviest flying birds, with some species weighing over 30 pounds. Despite their graceful appearance on water, swans are powerful and can be quite aggressive when defending their nests. Both parents help care for their young, called cygnets, who sometimes ride on their parents' backs. Swans can live over 20 years in the wild and even longer in captivity. Ferrets sleep up to 18 hours a day and are most active during dawn and dusk. They're incredibly playful and curious, often getting into mischief. Ferrets do a war dance when they're excited, jumping around and making clucking sounds. They're obligate carnivores with fast metabolisms, requiring frequent small meals. Ferrets have been domesticated for over 2,000 years and were originally used for hunting rabbits. Puffins mate for life and return to the same burrow each year to breed. They're excellent swimmers, using their wings to fly underwater while hunting fish. Puffins can hold multiple fish in their beaks at once, lining them up crosswise thanks to spines on their tongue and palate. These charming birds spend most of their lives at sea, only coming to land to breed. Puffin chicks are called pufflings, and they leave their burrows at night to avoid predators. Jellyfish have been around for over 500 million years, predating dinosaurs and sharks. They don't have brains, hearts, or bones, and are about 95% water. Some jellyfish are immortal in a sense. The Turritopsis doania can revert to its juvenile form after reaching maturity, potentially cycling this process indefinitely. Jellyfish drift with ocean currents, but they can also swim by pulsing their bell-shaped bodies. Some species glow in the dark through bioluminescence. Chickens are smarter than people give them credit for. They can recognize over 100 different faces, both chicken and human. Mother hens communicate with their chicks while they're still in the egg, and the chicks chirp back. Chickens have complex social structures with pecking orders, and they can feel empathy for their fellow flock members. There are more chickens on Earth than any other bird species, with over 20 billion at any given time. Armadillos always give birth to identical quadruplets, all developing from the same egg. They're the only mammals with a shell, made of bony plates covered in keratin. Armadillos are surprisingly good swimmers, and can walk along the bottom of streams by gulping air to increase buoyancy, or inflating their intestines. They have poor eyesight, but an excellent sense of smell. The 9-banded armadillo is the only species found in the United States. Platypuses are one of only 5 species of monotremes, mammals that lay eggs instead of giving birth to live young. Males have venomous spurs on their hind legs, one of the few venomous mammals. Platypuses don't have stomachs. Their esophagus connects directly to their intestines. They hunt with their eyes, ears, and nose closed, relying entirely on electroreception to find prey. Baby platypuses are called puggles and are born incredibly underdeveloped. Otters use rocks as tools to crack open shellfish, one of the few animals to use tools regularly. They have the densest fur of any animal, with up to 1 million hairs per square inch, keeping them warm in cold water without the blubber layer other marine mammals have. River otters can close their ears and nose underwater, and have special muscles to help them see clearly beneath the surface. Otter families are extremely playful, spending hours sliding down muddy banks just for fun. Narwhals have a single long tusk that's actually an elongated tooth growing through their upper lip. This tusk is filled with nerve endings and may help them sense temperature, pressure, and even detect prey. Narwhals live in Arctic waters year-round and are sometimes called the unicorns of the sea. They dive deep into the ocean, sometimes reaching depths of over a mile. Male narwhals occasionally cross tusks with each other in what appears to be a social behavior. Mantis shrimp have the most complex eyes in the animal kingdom, with 16 color receptors compared to our 3. They can see ultraviolet and polarized light and process visual information much faster than humans. Despite being only a few inches long, they have one of the fastest and most powerful strikes in nature, capable of breaking aquarium glass. The force of their punch can heat the surrounding water to nearly the temperature of the sun's surface for a brief moment. Red pandas are not closely related to giant pandas despite their name and similar diet. They're actually more closely related to raccoons and skunks. Red pandas spend most of their time in trees, where they're remarkably agile despite their round bodies. They use their long, bushy tails for balance and as a blanket in cold weather. Red pandas are mostly solitary except during mating season, and they communicate through various sounds including squeals and huffs. Axolotls are amphibians that never fully mature, retaining their larval features throughout their lives in a phenomenon called neoteny. They can regenerate not just limbs, but also parts of their heart, brain, and spinal cord. Axolotls are naturally brown or black, but captive breeding has produced pink and white varieties. They live their entire lives underwater and breathe through external gills that look like feathery branches. In the wild, they're only found in a few lakes in Mexico. Tardigrades, also known as water bears, are nearly indestructible microscopic animals. They can survive extreme temperatures from near absolute zero to over 300 degrees Fahrenheit, intense radiation, crushing pressures, and even the vacuum of space. When conditions get tough, they enter a state called cryptobiosis, essentially pausing their metabolism until conditions improve. They've been found everywhere from mountaintops to deep ocean trenches, and even in Antarctic ice. Beluga whales are known as the canaries of the sea because of their wide range of vocalizations. They can make clicks, whistles, chirps, and other sounds, and they seem to mimic noises from their environment. Belugas are born dark gray and gradually turn white as they mature. They have flexible necks, unusual for whales, allowing them to turn their heads. Belugas are highly social and often travel in groups called pods. Slow lorises have a venomous bite, unique among primates. They produce toxins in glands near their elbows, which they lick and mix with saliva before biting. Despite their cute appearance, they're actually quite solitary and territorial. Slow lorises have a specialized blood vessel system in their hands and feet that allows them to grip branches for hours without getting tired. They move slowly and deliberately through the forest canopy at night, hunting insects and small animals. Ravens are among the smartest birds and can solve complex puzzles and even plan for the future. They've been observed playing games, using tools and working together to achieve goals. Ravens can mimic sounds, including human speech, and they seem to hold grudges against people who have wronged them. They form strong pair bonds and perform aerial acrobatics together. In many cultures, ravens are associated with wisdom and magic. Manatees are gentle herbivores that spend most of their time eating seagrass and resting. They can weigh over 1,000 pounds but are completely harmless to humans. Manatees have no natural predators, though they face threats from boat strikes and habitat loss. They're closely related to elephants, sharing a common ancestor millions of years ago. Manatees replace their teeth throughout their lives, with new teeth constantly growing in the back and moving forward. Komodo dragons are the largest living lizards, growing up to 10 feet long and weighing over 150 pounds. They have a venomous bite that prevents blood clotting and causes shock in their prey. Komodo dragons are excellent swimmers and have been seen swimming between islands. Female Komodo dragons can reproduce without males through a process called parthenogenesis, though this rarely happens in the wild. They have a keen sense of smell and can detect carrion from miles away. Sugar gliders are small marsupials that can glide through the air using membranes that stretch from their wrists to their ankles. They can glide over 150 feet in a single leap, steering with their tail and limbs. Sugar gliders are social animals that live in colonies of up to 12 individuals. They're nocturnal and communicate through a variety of sounds, including barking and chirping. Sugar gliders have opposable toes on their hind feet that help them grip branches. Capybaras are the world's largest rodents, weighing up to 140 pounds. They're semi-aquatic and excellent swimmers, with webbed feet and the ability to hold their breath underwater for up to 5 minutes. Capybaras are incredibly social and live in groups of 10 to 20 individuals. They're known for their calm, friendly demeanor and are often seen with birds perched on their backs. In their native South America, other animals seem to gravitate toward them. Harp seals are born with white fluffy coats that help camouflage them on ice and keep them warm. They lose this white coat after about 3 weeks and develop their adult gray coat with black harp-shaped markings. Baby seals, called pups, can swim almost immediately after birth but spend their first weeks on ice. Harp seals can dive to depths of over 800 feet and hold their breath for 15 minutes while hunting fish. Quokkas are small marsupials from Australia known for their friendly appearance and seeming smile. They're not afraid of humans and often approach people curiously, though feeding them is discouraged. Quokkas are mostly nocturnal and spend their days resting in the shade. They can climb trees to reach food and are quite agile despite their round bodies. Female quokkas can have babies throughout the year and, like other marsupials, carry their young in a pouch. Pangolins are the only mammals covered entirely in scales made of keratin, the same material as human fingernails. When threatened, they roll into a tight ball that's nearly impossible for predators to open. Pangolins have no teeth and use their incredibly long, sticky tongues to catch ants and termites. Their tongues can be longer than their entire body and are attached near their pelvis. Sadly, pangolins are the most trafficked mammals in the world due to illegal wildlife trade. Arctic foxes change their coat color with the seasons, sporting white fur in winter for camouflage in snow and brown or gray fur in summer. They have the warmest fur of any mammal, allowing them to survive temperatures as low as -70 degrees Fahrenheit. Arctic foxes have excellent hearing and can locate prey moving under the snow. They follow polar bears and scavenge their leftovers, and they cache food during summer to survive the harsh winter months. Leafy sea dragons are related to seahorses and are covered in leaf-like appendages that provide perfect camouflage among seaweed. Males carry the eggs on their tails until they hatch, similar to seahorses. Leafy sea dragons are poor swimmers and drift with ocean currents, relying on their camouflage for protection. They're found only in the waters off southern Australia and are considered near threatened due to habitat loss and collection for aquariums. Wombats are marsupials that dig extensive burrow systems with their powerful claws and rodent-like teeth. They're the only animal that produces cube-shaped droppings, which they use to mark their territory. The cubic shape prevents the droppings from rolling away on slopes. Wombats have backwards-facing pouches, so dirt doesn't fly into them while digging. Despite their stocky appearance, wombats can run up to 25 miles per hour for short bursts. Fireflies produce light through a chemical reaction in their abdomens called bioluminescence. Different species have different flash patterns, which they use to attract mates. Some firefly larvae glow too and are called glowworms. Fireflies are actually beetles, not flies, and spend most of their lives as larvae in the soil. Adult fireflies often don't eat and live only a few weeks, just long enough to mate and lay eggs. Alpacas are domesticated animals related to llamas and camels, originally bred for their soft fleece. They're social herd animals that communicate through body language and humming sounds. Alpacas spit when annoyed or to establish dominance, but they're generally gentle creatures. They have padded feet that are gentle on pastures, unlike hoofed animals. Alpacas come in over 20 natural colors, from white to black and many shades in between. Hamsters are nocturnal rodents with cheek pouches that can stretch to their shoulders, allowing them to carry large amounts of food back to their burrows. They're solitary animals in the wild and often prefer to live alone. Hamsters are excellent diggers and create complex burrow systems with separate areas for sleeping, storing food, and using the bathroom. Golden hamsters, a popular pet species, are all descended from a single litter found in Syria in the 1930s. Axolotls can regenerate their limbs, spinal cord, heart, and even parts of their brain multiple times throughout their lives without scarring. Scientists study them extensively to understand regeneration. In the wild, axolotls are critically endangered and found only in the lake complex of Xochimilco near Mexico City. They remain aquatic their entire lives and never develop lungs, breathing through their gills and skin instead. Tasmanian devils are the largest carnivorous marsupials and have the strongest bite relative to body size of any mammal. They can eat up to 40% of their body weight in a single day and consume bones, fur, and all parts of their prey. Devils are mostly black with white markings on their chest and rump. They make spine-chilling screeches and growls, which early European settlers found terrifying. Young devils are called imps and stay in their mother's pouch for about 4 months. Peacock mantis shrimp have claws that can strike with the speed of a bullet, creating a cavitation bubble that produces a flash of light and a loud pop. They're incredibly territorial and will fight to defend their burrows. Despite their aggression, they're devoted parents who tend and clean their eggs until they hatch. Their eyes are mounted on stalks that move independently, giving them exceptional vision in all directions. Snow leopards live in the harsh mountains of Central Asia and have thick fur and wide paws that act like natural snowshoes. They can't roar like other big cats, but instead make a variety of sounds including chuffing and hissing. Snow leopards are solitary and elusive, rarely seen in the wild. Their long tails help them balance on rocky terrain and wrap around their bodies for warmth. They can leap up to 50 feet in a single bound while hunting. Mudskippers are fish that can survive out of water for extended periods and even climb trees using their pectoral fins. They carry water in their enlarged gill chambers, essentially breathing underwater while on land. Mudskippers skip across mud flats using their fins and tail, hunting insects and small crustaceans. During mating season, males perform elaborate displays, jumping high into the air to attract females. Lyrebirds are master mimics that can imitate almost any sound they hear, from other bird calls to chainsaws and car alarms. Males have spectacular tail feathers, shaped like a lyre that they display during elaborate courtship dances. They're ground-dwelling birds despite being able to fly, and spend most of their time foraging through leaf litter. Lyrebirds can live for over 30 years and continue learning new sounds throughout their lives. Nautiluses are ancient cephalopods that have existed relatively unchanged for over 500 million years. They live in chambered shells and move by jet propulsion, expelling water through a tube. Nautiluses have about 90 tentacles without suckers, unlike their relatives the octopus and squid. They live in deep waters during the day and rise to shallower depths at night to feed. Their shells grow throughout their lives, adding new chambers as they get bigger. Salmon are born in freshwater streams, migrate to the ocean to grow and mature, then return to the exact stream where they were born to spawn. They navigate using Earth's magnetic field, the position of the sun, and their sense of smell. Atlantic salmon can make this journey multiple times, but Pacific salmon die after spawning once. During their upstream journey, they stop eating and their bodies begin to break down as all their energy goes into reproduction. Kiwi birds are flightless and nocturnal, with whiskers around their beaks like a cat. They have nostrils at the tip of their long beaks, unusual for birds, which helps them sniff out food underground. Kiwis lay enormous eggs relative to their body size, sometimes up to 20% of the female's weight. The male kiwi incubates the egg for about 80 days. Kiwis pair for life and can live for decades, with some individuals reaching 50 years old. Monitor lizards are intelligent reptiles that can count and distinguish between different quantities of food. Some species are excellent swimmers and can stay underwater for extended periods. Komodo dragons, the largest monitor lizards, have been observed working together to take down large prey. Most monitor lizards have forked tongues like snakes, which they use to smell their environment. They're found across Africa, Asia, and Australia in a wide variety of habitats. Binturongs, also called bearcats, smell like popcorn due to a compound in their scent glands. They're the only carnivores besides kinkajous with prehensile tails that can grip branches. Binturongs are important seed dispersers in their forest habitats, eating fruit and spreading seeds through their droppings. They're excellent climbers and spend most of their time in trees, moving slowly and deliberately. Females are larger than males, which is unusual for mammals. Prairie dogs are highly social rodents that live in extensive underground colonies called towns. They have a sophisticated communication system with different alarm calls for different predators, and they can even describe the color and size of threats. Prairie dog towns can span hundreds of acres and house thousands of individuals. They're considered a keystone species because their burrows provide homes for many other animals. Prairie dogs greet each other with what looks like kisses, actually touching their teeth together to identify one another. Axolotls have the amazing ability to accept transplanted organs from other individuals without rejection, making them valuable for medical research. They can regrow the same limb up to 5 times, and each regeneration is perfect. Wild axolotls are critically endangered with fewer than 1,000 individuals remaining, though millions exist in captivity worldwide. They communicate through chemical signals in the water and gentle nudging. Axolotls have a special ability to regenerate parts of their brain without any loss of function. Woodpeckers have specially adapted skulls that absorb the shock of pecking, preventing brain damage. They can peck up to 20 times per second, and their tongues wrap around their skulls for protection and storage. Woodpeckers have zygodactyl feet with 2 toes pointing forward and 2 pointing back, giving them excellent grip on tree trunks. They drum on trees not just to find food, but also to communicate with other woodpeckers and establish territory. Some species store thousands of acorns in individual holes they drill in trees. Fennec foxes have the largest ears relative to body size of any canid, which helps them dissipate heat and hear prey moving under the sand. They live in the Sahara Desert and can survive without drinking water, getting all the moisture they need from their food. Fennec foxes are highly social and live in family groups in underground dens. Their thick fur protects them from the cold desert nights and the scorching daytime sun. They have fur on the bottoms of their feet to protect them from hot sand. Hummingbird moths are insects that look and behave remarkably like hummingbirds, hovering in place and drinking nectar with their long proboscis. This is an example of convergent evolution, where unrelated species develop similar traits. They're active during the day, unlike most moths, and can be found on every continent except Antarctica. Hummingbird moths can fly backwards and sideways just like actual hummingbirds. They're important pollinators for many flowers, especially those that bloom at dusk. Slow lorises might look cute, but they're one of the few venomous mammals. They lick a gland on their elbows that produces toxins, mix it with their saliva, and can deliver a painful venomous bite. This venom can cause anaphylactic shock in humans who are allergic. Slow lorises are nocturnal and have a reflective layer in their eyes called the tapetum lucidum that gives them excellent night vision. They move incredibly slowly to avoid detection by predators, though they can move quickly when necessary. Frigate birds can stay airborne for months at a time, sleeping while gliding on air currents. They have the largest wingspan relative to body weight of any bird, allowing them to soar effortlessly. Male frigate birds inflate their bright red throat pouches like balloons to attract females during mating season. They're kleptoparasites, often harassing other seabirds until they drop or regurgitate their catch. Frigate birds can't take off from water because their feathers aren't waterproof and would become too heavy. Naked mole rats are extraordinary rodents that don't age in traditional ways and rarely get cancer. They can live over 30 years, exceptionally long for rodents. They're nearly blind and navigate their underground tunnels using their sensitive whiskers and sense of smell. Naked mole rats live in colonies with a queen and workers, similar to bees and ants, which is unique among mammals. They can survive without oxygen for up to 18 minutes by switching to fructose metabolism. Emperor penguins endure the harshest breeding conditions of any bird, incubating their eggs in Antarctic winter when temperatures can drop below -40 degrees. Males huddle together in groups of thousands, taking turns being on the warm inside of the huddle. They can go over 100 days without eating while caring for their egg and chick. Emperor penguins can dive deeper than any other bird, reaching depths of over 1,800 feet and staying underwater for over 20 minutes. Geoduck clams are among the longest living animals, with some individuals reaching over 160 years old. They have a large siphon that can't retract fully into their shell, making them look quite unusual. Geoducks burrow deep into sand and mud, sometimes over 3 feet down, and filter feed by extending their siphon to the surface. They're native to the Pacific Northwest coast and are considered a delicacy in many cultures. Their name comes from a Native American word meaning dig deep. Glass frogs have translucent skin on their bellies, allowing you to see their internal organs, including their beating heart and eggs. They live in rainforests and are usually bright green on top for camouflage among leaves. Male glass frogs guard their eggs, which are laid on leaves overhanging streams. When tadpoles hatch, they drop into the water below. Scientists are studying how glass frogs achieve their transparency to understand tissue optics better. Secretary birds are unique raptors that hunt on foot, using their powerful legs to stomp on snakes and other prey. They can deliver kicks with over 5 times their body weight in force. Secretary birds have distinctive long tail feathers and crest feathers that look like quill pens tucked behind their ears, which is how they got their name. They build huge nests in acacia trees and mate for life. Despite being terrestrial hunters, they're excellent flyers and soar to great heights. Eyes are unusual primates from Madagascar. With extremely long, thin middle fingers, they use to tap on trees and extract insects from inside. They listen for hollow spots in the wood, then gnaw a hole and use their specialized finger to fish out grubs. Eyes have continuously growing incisors like rodents, unique among primates. They're nocturnal and have large, sensitive ears that can rotate independently. In Malagasy culture, eyes are sometimes considered omens, though scientists are working to change these perceptions to help conservation. Pistol shrimp have one oversized claw that can snap shut so quickly. It creates a cavitation bubble that reaches temperatures nearly as hot as the sun's surface and produces a loud bang. The shockwave can stun or kill prey. Some pistol shrimp live in symbiotic relationships with gobies, with the shrimp digging and maintaining a burrow while the fish stands guard. The shrimp keeps one antenna on the fish at all times for alerts. The snapping sound is so loud that it can interfere with submarine sonars. Birds from Australia and New Guinea, considered one of the most dangerous birds due to their powerful legs and dagger-like claws. They can run up to 30 miles per hour and jump over 5 feet high. Cassowaries play a crucial role in rainforest ecosystems by dispersing large seeds that other animals can't swallow. Males incubate the eggs and raise the chicks alone. Their distinctive casque on their head may help them push through dense vegetation or could be used in communication. Starfish can regenerate entire bodies from a single arm if it contains part of the central disc. Some species can even regenerate from just a portion of a severed arm. They don't have blood but pump seawater through their bodies using a water vascular system. Starfish can have anywhere from 5 to 40 arms depending on the species. They eat by pushing their stomachs out through their mouths and digesting prey externally. Starfish have eye spots at the end of each arm that can sense light and darkness. Leafcutter ants don't eat the leaves they cut, but use them to cultivate fungus gardens underground. The fungus breaks down the leaves and the ants eat the fungus. Different castes of workers have different jobs, from cutting leaves to tending the garden to defending the colony. A mature leafcutter colony can contain over 8 million ants. They have a symbiotic bacterium living on their bodies that produces antibiotics to protect their fungus gardens from harmful molds. Macaroni penguins are named for the distinctive yellow and orange feathered crests on their heads, which 18th century explorers thought resembled the flamboyant feathered hats worn by dandies called macaronis. They are the most abundant penguin species, with a population of around 12 million breeding pairs. Macaroni penguins usually lay 2 eggs, but typically only raise 1 chick, as the first egg is significantly smaller. They can dive to depths of over 200 feet while hunting for krill and small fish. Sun bears are the smallest bear species and have exceptionally long tongues, up to 10 inches, perfect for extracting honey from beehives. They have a distinctive golden or white chest patch and short sleek fur. Sun bears are excellent climbers and spend much of their time in trees. They're found in Southeast Asian tropical forests and are mostly solitary. Sun bears make nests in trees where they sleep and sunbathe, which is possibly how they got their name. Horseshoe crabs aren't actually crabs, but are more closely related to spiders and scorpions. They've existed for over 450 million years with very little change, making them living fossils. Their blue blood contains a substance used to detect bacterial contamination in medical equipment. Horseshoe crabs come ashore by the thousands during high tides to lay eggs. Many migrating shorebirds time their journeys to feast on these nutritious eggs. Despite their prehistoric appearance, they're harmless to humans. Cuttlefish are masters of camouflage, able to change color and texture in seconds to blend with their surroundings or communicate. They have W-shaped pupils and can see polarized light, giving them exceptional vision. Male cuttlefish sometimes disguise themselves as females to sneak past rival males and mate. Cuttlefish have 3 hearts and green-blue blood. They're considered among the most intelligent invertebrates and can solve complex problems and remember solutions. Watsines are unusual birds from South America, whose chicks have claws on their wings, a throwback to their dinosaur ancestors. If threatened, chicks drop from their nest into the water below and swim to safety, then climb back up using their wing claws. scenes eat leaves almost exclusively and have a digestive system more similar to cows than other birds, complete with bacterial fermentation. This gives them a distinctive manure-like smell, earning them the nickname stinkbird. Archerfish can shoot jets of water from their mouths to knock insects off overhanging branches into the water. They can hit targets over 6 feet away with remarkable accuracy, accounting for light refraction at the water's surface. Young archerfish learn this skill by watching adults. They hunt in groups and have been observed using teamwork to bring down larger prey. Archerfish have excellent vision both above and below water, which is unusual for fish. Manta rays are gentle giants with the largest brain-to-body ratio of any fish. They're intelligent and curious, often approaching divers. Manta rays don't have stingers like their stingray cousins and are completely harmless to humans. They can leap completely out of the water, possibly to remove parasites or communicate. Each manta ray has a unique pattern of spots on their belly, like a fingerprint. They can live for over 50 years and migrate vast distances across ocean basins. Thorny devils are small Australian lizards covered in sharp spines that collect morning dew, channeling water to their mouths through grooves between the spines. They can change color from pale yellow to dark brown, depending on temperature and time of day. Thorny devils walk with a jerky motion and can puff themselves up to appear larger when threatened. They eat only ants, sometimes consuming thousands in a single day. Despite their fierce appearance, they're harmless to humans. Walruses use their sensitive whiskers to find clams and other mollusks on the ocean floor in murky, dark waters. They can eat thousands of clams in a single feeding session, using suction to extract the soft body from the shell. Both male and female walruses have tusks, which are actually elongated canine teeth that can grow over 3 feet long. They use their tusks to haul themselves onto ice, establish dominance, and create breathing holes. Walruses are highly social and gather in large groups on ice floes. Leaf insects are masters of disguise, looking remarkably like the leaves they live on, complete with veins and imperfections. They even sway gently when they walk to mimic leaves blowing in the breeze. Female leaf insects can reproduce without males through parthenogenesis. They're herbivores and blend so well with foliage that predators often pass right by them. Different species mimic different types of leaves, from green and healthy to brown and decaying. Basilisk lizards can run on water, using their specially fringed toes and incredible speed to stay on the surface for short distances. They're also called Jesus Christ lizards because of this ability. Basilisk lizards are excellent swimmers and can stay underwater for over 10 minutes if threatened. They're omnivores, eating insects, flowers, and small vertebrates. Males have distinctive crests on their heads and backs that they use in territorial displays. Elephants communicate through infrasound, making calls below the range of human hearing that can travel for miles through the ground. Other elephants can detect these vibrations through their feet and trunks. Elephants are one of the few animals that recognize themselves in mirrors, showing self-awareness. They use tools, show empathy, and have been observed mourning their dead for days. Female elephants live in tight-knit matriarchal family groups led by the oldest and largest female. Peacock spiders are tiny jumping spiders, where males have brilliantly colored abdominal flaps they raise and display during elaborate courtship dances. Each species has unique color patterns and dance moves. Despite being only a few millimeters long, they have excellent drink up the blood, with their saliva containing anticoagulants to keep it flowing. Vampire bats can't survive more than 2 days without feeding, so they share food with hungry colony members through regurgitation. They have heat sensors in their nose that help them find blood vessels close to the skin. Vampire bats can walk, run, and hop on the ground, unusual for bats. Cockapos are the world's only flightless parrots and are critically endangered with only about 200 individuals remaining. They're nocturnal and have a strong, sweet smell often compared to honey. Male cockapos create bowl-shaped depressions in the ground and make booming calls that can be heard over half a mile away to attract females. Cockapos can live over 90 years, making them one of the longest-lived bird species. Each bird has a unique personality and is individually named and monitored by conservationists. Dumbo octopuses live at extreme ocean depths of up to 13,000 feet and are named for their ear-like fins that look like Dumbo's ears. They flap these fins to propel themselves through the water. Dumbo octopuses swallow their prey whole since food is scarce in the deep ocean. They can flush their skin with color despite living in complete darkness. Scientists believe they use bioluminescent prey to see as their stomachs glow after eating. Like all octopuses, they have 3 hearts and blue blood. Caracals are wild cats known for their extraordinary leaping ability, jumping 10 feet high to snatch birds out of the air. They have distinctive long, tufted ears and can rotate them independently to pinpoint sounds. Caracals are solitary and primarily nocturnal, though they're sometimes active during the day in protected areas. They rarely drink water, getting most of their moisture from prey. In ancient India and Persia, caracals were trained for hunting birds, similar to how falconry works. Flying squirrels don't actually fly, but glide using membranes of skin stretched between their front and back legs. They can glide over 150 feet, steering with their tail and limbs. Flying squirrels are nocturnal and have large eyes adapted for seeing in darkness. They're highly social and often nest together in groups during winter for warmth. Some species of flying squirrels are biofluorescent, glowing pink under ultraviolet light, though scientists aren't yet sure why. Axolotls never undergo metamorphosis like other amphibians, retaining their juvenile aquatic form throughout their lives. However, they can be induced to transform into a terrestrial form through hormone treatment, though this is stressful and shortens their lifespan. They come in various colors including wild-type brown, leucistic pale pink, albino, and melanoid black. Axolotls are nearsighted and rely on their sense of smell to find food. They can regenerate their spinal cord without any scar tissue, which is unique among vertebrates. Crested geckos were thought to be extinct until they were rediscovered in 1994 in New Caledonia. They can drop their tails when threatened, but unlike other gecko species, their tails don't grow back. Crested geckos have tiny hairs on their feet called setae that allow them to climb smooth surfaces, even glass. They're primarily frugivorous in the wild, eating fruit and nectar, though they also eat insects. Crested geckos have a third eye on top of their head, called a parietal eye, that can sense light and dark. Honey badgers are fearless animals known for taking on much larger predators, including lions and leopards. They have extremely thick skin that's loose enough to allow them to twist around and bite attackers, even when grabbed. Honey badgers work with honey-guide birds in a remarkable symbiotic relationship, with the bird leading them to beehives and sharing in the spoils. They're intelligent problem solvers and have been observed using tools. Despite their name, honey badgers eat much more than honey, including snakes, roots, and small mammals. Mantis shrimp mate for life and share a burrow, with both partners defending it fiercely. Some species perform beautiful synchronized dances together. The peacock mantis shrimp can see circular polarized light, a feat no other animal can match. have the fastest punch in the animal kingdom, accelerating faster than a bullet. When mantis shrimp molt their exoskeleton, they're vulnerable, and their mate guards them carefully until the new shell hardens. They can recognize individual humans and have been known to break aquarium glass. Tardigrades can survive being frozen at near absolute zero and heated to over 300 degrees Fahrenheit. They've survived the vacuum of space and intense radiation that would kill almost any other organism. When conditions are unfavorable, tardigrades enter a state called a ton, where they lose up to 99% of their water and curl into a ball. In this state, they can survive for decades, springing back to life when conditions improve. Tardigrades are found in every environment on Earth, from mountaintops to deep ocean trenches. Narwhals are sometimes called the unicorns of the sea because of their long spiral tusk. Scientists now believe the tusk is a sensory organ packed with millions of nerve endings that can detect changes in water temperature, pressure, and salinity. Narwhals live in Arctic waters year-round and are one of the deepest diving marine mammals, reaching depths of over a mile. They feed primarily on Greenland halibut and make clicking sounds for echolocation. Male narwhals sometimes cross tusks with each other in a behavior called tusking. Sloths are excellent swimmers despite their slow movement on land, using a swimming stroke similar to the butterfly stroke. They can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes underwater. Sloths only defecate once a week and lose up to 30% of their body weight when they do. They have a symbiotic relationship with algae and moths that live in their fur. Sloths have extra neck vertebrae that allow them to turn their heads almost all the way around. Despite their slow metabolism, they can regulate their body temperature by moving between sun and shade. Kinkajous are sometimes called honey bears, though they're actually related to raccoons. They have a prehensile tail and are one of only 2 carnivores with this feature. Kinkajous spend almost their entire lives in trees and can turn their feet backwards to run in either direction along branches. They have a long tongue that they use to extract nectar from flowers, making them important pollinators. Kinkajous are nocturnal and make a variety of sounds including screams, barks, and soft chittering. Ospreys are fish-eating raptors that can dive feet first into water to catch prey. They have reversible outer toes and spiny pads on their feet to help grip slippery fish. Ospreys build huge nests that they return to year after year, adding to them each season until some weigh over 1,000 pounds. They're found on every continent except Antarctica and undertake remarkable migrations, with some individuals traveling thousands of miles. Ospreys mate for life, and both parents help care for the chicks. Pistol shrimp sometimes team up with gobies in one of nature's most interesting partnerships. The nearly blind shrimp digs and maintains a burrow while the goby stands guard and shares it. The shrimp keeps an antenna on the goby at all times, and when danger approaches, the fish flicks its tail to warn its partner. Both animals benefit, with the shrimp getting security and the goby getting a home. Some pairs stay together for years, showing remarkable cooperation between 2 very different species. Okapis look like a cross between a zebra and a giraffe, and are actually the giraffe's closest living relative. They're only found in the dense rainforests of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and weren't known to Western science until 1901. Okapis have incredibly long, prehensile tongues that they use to strip leaves from branches, and even clean their own eyes and ears. They're solitary animals and males are territorial. Okapis communicate through coughing sounds and marking territories with scent glands on their feet. Pangolins are the world's most trafficked mammals, hunted for their scales and meat. When threatened, they curl into a tight ball that even large predators can't unfold. Their scales are made of keratin and continue growing throughout their lives. Baby pangolins ride on their mother's tail and will also curl into a the mother curling around them for double protection. Pangolins have no teeth and swallow small stones to help grind up the ants and termites in their stomachs. A single pangolin can consume over 70 million insects per year. Bowerbirds don't just build nests, but create elaborate structures called bowers to attract mates. Male bowerbirds are obsessive decorators, arranging colorful objects like flowers, berries, shells, and even human-made items in specific patterns. Some species paint their bowers with berry juice using bark as a brush. Males spend hours perfecting their displays and will steal decorations from rival males. Females judge males based on the quality of their bowers and displays, and successful males may mate with multiple females. Gharials are critically endangered crocodilians with long, narrow snouts filled with sharp teeth, perfectly designed for catching fish. Males develop a bulbous growth on the tip of their snout called a gara, which is used to make buzzing sounds and blow bubbles during courtship. Gharials are among the longest crocodilians, reaching lengths of over 15 feet. Unlike other crocodilians, they're almost entirely aquatic and awkward on land. Gharials were once found throughout the Indian subcontinent, but are now limited to a few rivers. Termites are incredible architects, building mounds that can reach over 20 feet high with sophisticated ventilation systems that maintain constant temperature and humidity. Some mounds are over 100 years old, maintained by successive generations of termites. Like ants and bees, termites live in colonies with a queen, king, workers, and soldiers. They digest wood with the help of microorganisms in their guts and are essential decomposers in many ecosystems. Some termite species have evolved to cultivate fungus gardens similar to leafcutter ants. Blue-ringed octopuses are tiny but deadly, carrying enough venom to kill 26 humans within minutes. Despite this, they're docile and only bite when threatened or handled. Their venom contains tetrodotoxin, the same poison found in pufferfish. When agitated, their blue rings become brilliantly iridescent as a warning. Blue-ringed octopuses are found in tide pools and coral reefs in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. They're incredibly intelligent and have been observed using coconut shells as portable shelters. Lyrebirds can accurately mimic chainsaws, car alarms, camera shutters, and even crying babies. They use this skill primarily during breeding season when males perform for hours, showing off their vocal range to attract females. Lyrebirds have incredibly elaborate tail feathers that they display during courtship dances. They're ground-dwelling birds and build dome-shaped nests on the forest floor or in tree ferns. Young lyrebirds stay with their mother for up to 8 months, learning their complex repertoire of sounds. Monarch butterflies undertake one of the most incredible migrations in the insect world, traveling up to 3,000 miles from Canada to Mexico. No single butterfly completes the round trip. It takes multiple generations. The butterflies that migrate south are called the supergeneration and can live up to 8 months, much longer than other generations. They navigate using the sun's position and Earth's magnetic field. Millions of monarchs cluster together in the Oyama fir forests of Mexico, covering entire trees. Electric eels aren't actually eels but are a type of knifefish. They can generate shocks of up to 860 volts, enough to stun an adult human or even a horse. They use electricity not just for defense and hunting, but also for navigation and communication in murky waters. Electric eels have 3 specialized electric organs that take up most of their body. They must surface every 10 minutes to breathe air, as they get most of their oxygen from the atmosphere despite being aquatic. They can grow over 6 feet long and live for 15 years. Meerkats have a complex system of sentries who take turns standing guard while others forage. Guards use different alarm calls for different predators, specifying whether the threat is aerial or terrestrial. They're highly social and live in groups called mobs that can include up to 50 individuals. Meerkats are immune to certain snake and scorpion venoms and teach their young how to handle dangerous prey. They have dark patches around their eyes that reduce glare, like natural sunglasses. Meerkats can close their ears to keep out dirt while digging. Axolotls possess an extraordinary ability to recognize individual humans and can remember them for months. They communicate with each other through subtle body language and chemical signals released into the water. Unlike most amphibians, axolotls have the remarkable capacity to accept organ transplants from other axolotls without any rejection, making them invaluable for regenerative medicine research. Their genome is 10 times larger than the human genome, one of the largest of any animal. Wild axolotls exhibit cannibalistic tendencies, with larger individuals sometimes consuming smaller ones, which is why they're often raised separately in captivity. Platypuses are one of the very few venomous mammals, with males possessing ankle spurs that deliver venom potent enough to cause excruciating pain in humans that can last for weeks. Their bills contain electroreceptors that detect the electrical fields generated by muscle contractions in their prey, allowing them to hunt with their eyes, ears, and nostrils closed. Platypuses don't have nipples. Instead, mothers secrete milk through pores in their skin, which the babies lap up from grooves in the mother's abdomen. They can consume their own body weight in food every day and store fat in their tails for energy reserves. Honey badgers have anal glands that can spray a suffocating, foul-smelling secretion similar to skunks. Their skin is so tough that it can withstand bee stings, porcupine quills, and even machete strikes. Honey badgers are one of the few animals that actively hunt venomous snakes, and they've developed a resistance to venom that would kill most other creatures. They've been observed digging for hours to reach prey underground, showing remarkable determination and endurance. Young honey badgers learn hunting techniques from their mothers over the course of 12 to 16 months. Archerfish can recognize human faces and remember them, distinguishing between different people even when shown only in two-dimensional photographs. They learn to improve their shooting accuracy through practice and can adjust their aim based on the height and angle of their target. Juvenile archerfish form schools and learn by watching older, more experienced fish. They can also judge the size of prey and decide whether it's worth shooting it based on the effort required versus the potential reward. Pistol shrimp colonies can create such loud snapping sounds collectively that they interfere with sonar systems and underwater communication devices. The cavitation bubbles they create reach temperatures of approximately 4,700 degrees Celsius, nearly as hot as the sun's surface. Some species change sex from male to female during their lifetime, depending on social hierarchy within their group. Pistol shrimp have asymmetrical claws, with one being significantly larger than the other, and if they lose their large claw, the small one will grow to replace it while a new small claw develops. Secretary birds have eyelashes, which is extremely rare among birds. They can stomp with a force 5 times their body weight in just 15 milliseconds, faster than a blink of an eye. Secretary birds often hunt in pairs, with one bird flushing out prey while the other attacks. They're one of the few birds that kill venomous snakes regularly, and they're largely immune to snake venom. These birds can travel over 20 miles per day on foot while hunting. Cuttlefish can count and remember the quantity of prey they've eaten, adjusting their hunting behavior based on how hungry they are. Males guard females aggressively during mating season, but smaller males have developed a clever strategy. They can change their appearance to look like females, complete with feminine coloration and behavior, to sneak past larger males. Cuttlefish bones, called cuttle bones, are often given to pet birds for calcium, but are actually internal shells that help control buoyancy. They can learn through observation and remember solutions to problems for months. Cassowaries have been known to kill humans with their powerful kicks and dagger-like claws, which can grow up to 5 inches long. They're excellent swimmers and will cross rivers and swim between islands when necessary. Cassowaries can eat toxic fruits that would kill other animals, making them essential for dispersing certain plant species. The casque on their head continues growing throughout their lives and may act as a resonating chamber to amplify their low-frequency calls, which sound like deep booming sounds. Female cassowaries are larger and more aggressive than males and will compete violently for mates. Naked mole rats are eusocial mammals, living in colonies with a single breeding queen like bees or ants. They're nearly completely resistant to cancer due to a special substance called high molecular mass hyaluronan that their cells produce. Naked mole rats can survive without oxygen for up to 18 minutes by metabolizing fructose instead of glucose. They don't feel pain from acid or capsaicin, the compound that makes chili peppers hot. Their lips close behind their front teeth, allowing them to dig without getting dirt in their mouths. Workers will care for the queen her entire life, which can exceed 30 years. Glass frogs store their red blood cells in their liver while they sleep, making their bodies appear more transparent and harder for predators to spot. Males guard eggs by sitting on them and urinating on them periodically to keep them moist. Different species of glass frogs have slightly different transparency levels, with some showing more internal organs than others. They can leap distances up to 10 times their body length to escape predators. Scientists have discovered that glass frogs time their mating calls to occur during rain or near waterfalls to avoid being detected by predators. Geoduck clams can live for well over 160 years, making them among the longest-lived animals on Earth. They're born male and change to female after about 2 or 3 years. Geoducks can filter up to 40 liters of water per day through their siphons. Their shells cannot fully close due to their large siphon, leaving them permanently exposed. Once they burrow into the sand or mud, geoducks typically remain in the same spot for their entire lives, sometimes exceeding a century in one location. Frigate birds have the lowest wing-loading ratio of any bird, meaning they have large wings relative to their body weight, making them incredibly efficient flyers. They can sleep while flying by resting one hemisphere of their brain at a time. Male frigate birds can keep their red throat pouches inflated for several hours during courtship displays. They rarely land on water because their feathers aren't waterproof enough to allow them to take off again. Frigate birds have been tracked flying for up to 2 months continuously without landing. Mantis shrimp have 12 to 16 types of color receptors compared to humans' 3, but surprisingly, this doesn't mean they see more colors than we do. They actually have poorer color discrimination. They use their complex eyes to recognize polarization patterns, which helps them detect transparent prey. Different species of mantis shrimp use either smashing or spearing techniques to catch prey, depending on their claw structure. They molt up to 10 times before reaching maturity and are vulnerable during this period, which is why mates guard each other. The force of their punch creates sonoluminescence, a brief flash of light from the collapsing cavitation bubble. Leafy sea dragons have no teeth or stomach and must eat almost constantly to survive, consuming thousands of tiny crustaceans daily. Males carry eggs on specialized brood patches on their tails that develop specifically for this purpose and disappear after the breeding season. They can change color slightly to match their surroundings, but rely primarily on their leaf-like appendages for camouflage. Leafy sea dragons are poor swimmers and can be blown far from their territory during storms. They're monogamous during breeding season and perform elaborate courtship dances, that can last for days. Wombats have backwards-facing pouches to prevent dirt from entering when they dig their extensive burrow systems. Their cube-shaped feces result from the varying elasticity of their intestinal walls, which shape the waste into cubes as it passes through. Wombats have the slowest metabolism of any mammal their size, taking up to 2 weeks to digest a single meal. They're marsupials but are unusual in that they only produce one offspring at a time. Wombats can defend themselves effectively by crushing predators against burrow walls with their powerful hindquarters, which are mostly cartilage and difficult to bite through. Kakapos are the world's heaviest parrots, with males weighing up to 9 pounds. They have a lek breeding system where males compete for females in traditional display grounds. Male kakapos create bowl-shaped depressions in the ground and boom for up to 8 hours per night during the breeding season, which only occurs every 2 to 4 years, depending on the availability of rimu fruit. Each kakapo has its own distinctive smell, described as musty sweet like honey or flowers. They're so endangered that each bird is tracked continuously, and some even wear tracking devices so conservationists can monitor their health and location. Dumbo octopuses are the deepest living octopuses, found at depths where no light penetrates. They flap their ear-like fins to hover above the ocean floor while searching for prey. Unlike other octopuses, Dumbo octopuses swallow their prey whole since there's little energy available in the deep sea to waste on digestion. Females don't have a specific breeding season and can store sperm for extended periods, laying eggs when conditions are favorable. They have no ink sacs since there's no need for this defense mechanism in the dark depths where they live. Horseshoe crabs have 9 eyes scattered across their body, including 2 compound eyes, 2 simple eyes near the mouth, and photoreceptors on their tail. Their blood turns blue when exposed to air due to copper-based hemocyanin instead of iron-based hemoglobin. Female horseshoe crabs are significantly larger than males, sometimes by 30%. They can survive out of water for up to 4 days as long as their gills remain moist. Horseshoe crabs have remained virtually unchanged for 445 million years, surviving 4 mass extinctions. Thorny devils can drink water through their skin, using capillary action in microscopic grooves between their scales that channel moisture to their mouths. They can change color from pale yellow to dark reddish-brown within minutes based on temperature. When threatened, thorny devils tuck their heads down and present a false head on the back of their necks to confuse predators. They exclusively eat ants and can consume thousands in a single sitting, using their sticky tongues to pick them up one at a time. Despite living in deserts, they can survive entirely on the moisture collected from dew and their food. Basilisk lizards are born with the ability to run on water and don't need to learn this skill. They can sprint on water for up to 15 feet before their weight overcomes the surface tension. Young basilisks are better at this than adults because they're lighter. On land, they can run on their hind legs at speeds up to 7 miles per hour. Basilisk lizards have a third eye called a parietal eye on top of their heads that can detect changes in light, helping them avoid aerial predators. Eyes have the longest finger relative to body size of any primate, with their middle finger making up about 1/3 of their arm length. They tap on wood up to 8 times per second, while listening for hollow chambers containing grubs. Eyes have continuously growing incisors that they use to gnaw through tough bark, similar to rodents. They're the world's largest nocturnal primate and have a layer of reflective tissue behind their retinas that enhances night vision. Female eyes are dominant over males and will often steal food from them. Sun bears make nests 40 to 60 feet high in trees where they sleep during the day. They have an excellent sense of smell and can locate bees' nests, termites, and fruit from great distances. Their paws have naked soles with wrinkled skin that provides excellent grip on bark. Sun bears have unusually large canine teeth for their size, longer than those of Asian black bears despite being much smaller. They're the only bears that don't hibernate because food is available year-round in their tropical habitat. Macaroni penguins undergo catastrophic molting, where they shed all their feathers at once and must remain on land for 3 to 4 weeks while new feathers grow in. During this time, they cannot swim or hunt and survive on fat reserves. They have red eyes due to a pigment that may help them see better in deep water. Macaroni penguins can dive over 300 times per day while hunting, spending more time underwater than any other penguin species. Their elaborate head crests grow longer and more vibrant as they age, with older birds having the most impressive plumes. Pistol shrimp and goby partnerships are so specific that certain shrimp species will only pair with certain goby species. The shrimp performs most of the excavation work, removing loads of sand up to 10 times its body weight. Some gobies will abandon their shrimp partners if they find a better burrow with a different shrimp. The partnership can last for years, with both animals rarely venturing far from their shared home. The goby eats first when food becomes available, and the shrimp waits its turn, showing remarkable cooperation and trust. Okapis have scent glands on their feet that leave a tar-like substance marking their territory. They're browsers and use their long tongues to strip leaves from branches up to 10 feet off the ground. Okapis are completely silent most of the time, but can make coughing sounds to communicate over long distances through dense forest. Baby okapis don't defecate for the first month or two of life, which helps prevent their scent from attracting predators. Males have short horn-like ossicones covered in skin, while females lack them entirely. Gharials have the weakest bite force of any crocodilian relative to their size, because their thin snouts are optimized for speed in water rather than crushing strength. They're the most aquatic of all crocodilians and are extremely awkward on land, using a belly slide motion to move. Males gather harems of up to 19 females during breeding season. Gharials have specialized salt glands on their tongue that help them maintain proper electrolyte balance in freshwater. Babies communicate with their mother through chirping sounds even before they hatch. Blue-ringed octopuses have parrot-like beaks strong enough to bite through wetsuits. Their venom can cause complete paralysis within minutes, including respiratory paralysis, but victims often remain conscious. There's no antivenom, and treatment involves artificial respiration until the toxin wears off, which can take 24 hours. Blue-ringed octopuses only live for about 2 years and die shortly after mating and laying eggs. Females guard their eggs obsessively, not eating for the entire 6-month incubation period, and die once the eggs hatch. Electric eels can control the intensity and frequency of their electrical discharges, using low-voltage pulses for navigation and communication, and high-voltage discharges for stunning prey. They can curl their body to double the voltage delivered to prey by sandwiching the target between their head and tail. Young electric eels feed primarily on invertebrates and gradually shift to fish as they grow. They're more closely related to catfish than to true eels. Electric eels can leap out of water to shock potential threats, a defensive behavior observed when they feel cornered. Binturongs are one of only 2 carnivores with prehensile tails, the other being the kinkajou. The popcorn smell comes from a compound called 2-acetyl-1-pyrroline, the same compound that gives cooked popcorn its distinctive aroma. Binturongs scent mark extensively, dragging their tails through their scent glands and leaving a trail. They're primarily arboreal but are surprisingly heavy-bodied and move slowly through trees. Female binturongs experience delayed implantation, where the fertilized egg doesn't immediately attach to the uterus, allowing them to time births with favorable conditions. Peacock spiders can jump up to 40 times their body length to catch prey or escape predators. Males perform their colorful displays even when no females are present, possibly as practice. If a female is unimpressed by a male's display, she may attack or even eat him. Different species of peacock spiders have evolved displays that include leg waves, vibrations, and specific color patterns unique to their species. They have excellent color vision despite their tiny brain, processing visual information with remarkable efficiency. Vampire bats have heat sensors in their noses that can detect blood vessels close to the skin in sleeping animals. Their saliva contains an anticoagulant called draculin that's being studied for potential medical applications in treating strokes. Vampire bats have strong social bonds and form long-lasting friendships, often roosting with the same individuals for years. They have fewer teeth than other bats, with specialized sharp incisors perfect for making small cuts. Vampire bats can run, hop, and jump on the ground using their powerful forearms, moving almost like tiny gorillas. Caracals can leap 10 feet straight up from a standstill to catch birds in flight. Their name comes from the Turkish word karakulak, meaning black ear. Young caracals stay with their mothers for up to a year, learning hunting techniques. Caracals produce a variety of vocalizations including hisses, spits, growls, and meows, but also make a unique barking sound when threatened. Their powerful hind legs allow them to pounce on prey from considerable distances. Caracals have been known to cache uneaten prey by covering it with vegetation. Slow lorises are the only venomous primates, with venom glands located on their elbows. Mother slow lorises lick venom onto their babies before leaving them to forage, providing protection against predators. Their bites can cause anaphylactic shock in humans and have resulted in deaths. Slow lorises have a special network of blood vessels in their hands and feet called arete meribau that allows them to maintain their grip for hours. They're threatened by the illegal pet trade, where sellers cruelly remove their teeth to make them safer to handle. Fennec foxes can go their entire lives without drinking water if their food provides enough moisture. Their enormous ears release heat and can detect prey moving underground. Fennec foxes are monogamous and mate for life, with both parents caring for kits. They can dig burrows up to 32 feet long with multiple entrances. Their kidneys are specially adapted to conserve water, producing highly concentrated urine. Fennec foxes communicate through various sounds including barks, purrs, and